everyone. Uh, I want to talk about a simple concept of recursion in Python uh, by building a simple count2 program. I want to create a count2 program that counts to a number, let's say 5. So I want it to output 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So for me to achieve these tasks, normally I would just create a function. Let's call it count2num and use a for loop for I in range from 1, because I want it to start from 1 to num. Yeah, I have to first pass in the number, and because the range function isn't inclusive, it's exclusive, I will have to plus 1 here. Then I'll have to print I for every iteration. So when I come here and count to 5, I expect it to output this. Let's try. Okay, I forgot this colon here. Okay, so we have successfully counted from 1 to 5, but this is a normal way of counting. So I want to explain recursion. So if I want to use recursion in this concept, I'll have to change a few things. So instead of using a for loop, I'll have to do something like this. To num, pass in the number again, but this time I'm gonna say if num is greater than 0, then do this. Then we're going to count to num again, but this time the number is going to be num minus 1. Then we print num. So before I explain this, let me run it and you guys should see that it works. Count2num 5 again. See, it works the same way as it worked before, but this time this code is a little bit complicated. So let me simplify it for you a little bit. Let's say num is 2. Okay, 2. So we have 1, 2. So what happens here, initially the count2num function, when we call this function here, num is 2, so it comes here, checks if num is 2 is greater than 0, so it runs this block. But inside this block here, we again have to learn the same function all over again. So this time the number that is passed into the function is 2 minus 1, that's 1. So in the first iteration, because 2 is greater than 0, it will learn this function, then it will print out 2. I mean, it will learn this function first. So inside this function again, it's this function. So it's like some sort of a loop. So it will learn this function, and when it reach this block here, it will learn again this function, but this time number will be 1. So it will start by printing 1 first instead of 2, because let's say I comment out this. So here, this function will just print out 2, because that's the number we have passed in, and 2 is greater than 0. But if we have this this piece of code here, meaning that before printing out the number, we have to first call this function again, but this time we have to decrease 1 from the number we've passed in from the mother function. So if 2 is equal to greater than 0, which it is, we're going to run this function. So in this function again, we're going to check the same thing. The same thing, if 1 is greater than 0, we're going to run it again. Before printing out 1 in this second function that is inside the first function, we're going to check if 0, because 1 minus 1 is 0, 0 is greater than 0, which is not. So this time it won't learn this. It will basically just return, see, but there's no need to write this. So that's what's going to happen. Hence the order of the output will be starting from 1, because we have to first print it out here, then print out the number. So that's how this works. I hope you understood what I was saying.